Hi, I'm Carl, and today I'm 75 years old. 7 years have passed since my beloved Clara left this world. Yet sometimes it feels like yesterday when I held her hand for the last time. After 30 years of marriage, living alone has become my new reality, though I never imagined spending my retirement years in solitude. I still remember that morning when everything changed. The richness of our life together shattered like a crystal vase, leaving me to pick up the pieces of my broken heart. The doctors had warned us about her condition, but no amount of medical wisdom could have prepared me for the profound emptiness that followed her departure. You see, Clara wasn't just my wife. She was my compass, my mirror, my everything. The self-awareness that comes with losing your life partner hits you like a tidal wave. Suddenly, at 68, I found myself struggling with the most basic tasks, making coffee for one instead of two, cooking meals that would inevitably leave leftovers, setting boundaries with well-meaning neighbors who tried to fill the void with casseroles and small talk. The money we'd saved for our golden years meant nothing without her to share it. Our retirement plans, carefully crafted over decades of hard work, now seemed like distant dreams written in fading ink. The house we'd built our life in became both a sanctuary and a prison of memories. Each room held echoes of her laughter, fragments of our shared moments that would play endlessly in my mind. My emotional resilience was tested every morning as I faced the empty side of our bed. The pillow still held the shape of her head for months. I couldn't bear to change the pillowcase. The wisdom that comes with age offered little comfort in those early days of grief. My independence, once a source of pride, felt more like a cruel joke played by fate. Looking back now, I realize how my journey through loneliness shaped me in unexpected ways. The introspection forced upon me by solitude led to discoveries about myself I never knew existed. Clara had always told me I possessed unique qualities, but it wasn't until I was alone that I truly understood what she meant. As one of many older adults navigating life solo, I've developed an empathy for others in similar situations. The meaningful connections I've made with fellow widowers in our community have helped me find strength in shared experiences. Mr. Thompson, who lives across the street, taught me the art of mindfulness through his daily garden rituals, something Clara would have appreciated. Her creativity lives on through the paintings that still adorn our walls. In moments of reflection, I find myself studying her brushstrokes, discovering new details that speak to me differently now. The peaceful hours I spend in her studio have become a form of meditation, a way to maintain our connection even across the veil of time. The insights that come with aging and loss have given me a deeper appreciation for life's simple pleasures. Sometimes when I'm tending to Clara's beloved rose garden, I feel her presence guiding my hands. The wisdom she shared over our years together continues to inspire me, helping me find contentment in my new reality. The hardest part of my journey wasn't learning to be self-reliant. It was accepting that my life could still hold meaning without Clara. Each morning, as I drink my coffee on our front porch, I practice the mindfulness techniques my grief counselor suggested. The rhythmic swaying of Clara's wind chimes brings a peculiar peace to my soul, like she's whispering gentle reminders that it's okay to keep living. My children worry about me living alone at my age. Sarah, our daughter, calls twice a day, her voice carrying the same nurturing tone her mother once had. Tommy, our son, visits every weekend, fixing things around the house that don't really need fixing. Their concern touches me deeply, but I've found an unexpected independence in my solitude that I'm not ready to give up. The richness of life reveals itself differently now, without Clara's constant presence. I've had to rediscover who Carl is as an individual. The wisdom that comes with age has taught me that loneliness and solitude are not the same thing. One drowns you in sorrow, while the other can lift you to new heights of self-discovery. Other older adults in our community have become my unexpected teachers in this journey. Mrs. Peterson, who lost her husband 5 years before Clara's passing, showed me how to find joy in small victories, like successfully cooking Clara's legendary pot roast for the first time. Her resilience inspired me to push beyond my comfort zone. Looking back at these 7 years, I realized that my profound connection with Clara hasn't diminished. It's transformed. The moments we shared have become the foundation for my emotional growth. Through introspection, I've learned that love doesn't end with death. It merely changes form. like water turning to mist. The money we saved allowed me to maintain our home exactly as she left it, but lately, I felt her presence encouraging me to make small changes. Last spring, I finally repainted her studio, transforming it into a space where I write my memories of our life together. My creative expression may be different from her paintings, but it carries the same depth of feeling. Living alone has taught me the strength of boundaries. I've learned to say no to well-meaning friends who push me to move on or find someone new. My contentment comes from honoring both my solitude and my ongoing love for Clara. The peaceful moments I spend in our garden, tending to her roses, have become a meditation on gratitude rather than loss. The wisdom Clara shared during our 30 years together continues to unfold in new ways. Her insights about patience and acceptance guide me through difficult days. When younger neighbors ask me for advice about marriage or love, I find myself sharing not just my own understanding, but the collected wisdom of our years together. Sometimes, in the quiet evening hours, I feel a deep appreciation for this unexpected chapter of my life. Though retirement without Clara wasn't what we planned, I've discovered inspiring new aspects of myself that I never knew existed. At 75, I've learned that being alone doesn't mean being lonely. It means having the space to grow in ways I never imagined possible. The day I signed up for piano lessons marked a turning point in my life. It happened quite unexpectedly. Really, I was walking past Mrs. Chen's music studio. Something I'd done hundreds of times when Clara was alive, and the sound of Chopin's Nocturne drifted through the open window. Clara had always wanted me to learn the piano. She'd say my hands were made for music, though I'd laugh it off. Too busy with my career to consider it, my newfound independence had been hard-won over these 7 years of living alone. Each small victory, from learning to iron my own shirts to mastering Clara's secret recipe for apple pie, added another layer to my self-reliance. But standing there, listening to that melody, I felt a different kind of awakening stirring in my soul. Mrs. Chen, a petite woman with wisdom in her eyes that reminded me of Clara, didn't bat an eye at having a 75-year-old beginner. "Music knows no age," she declared, her voice carrying the same conviction Clara used to have when she believed in something. The other students, mostly children with their mothers waiting patiently in the lobby, would peek curiously into the room during my afternoon lessons. The richness of learning something new at my age brought unexpected joy. My fingers, stiff from years of typing reports and signing documents, gradually became more nimble. The solitude of practice became my favorite part of each day. Sitting at the small, upright piano I'd bought from a retiring music teacher, I found myself having conversations with Clara in my mind, imagining her delight at each small progress. My journey into music opened doors I never knew existed. The emotional resonance of each piece I learned seemed to mirror my path through grief. The minor chords spoke to my loneliness, while the major ones reflected the growing contentment I found in my independence. Other older adults in my community began showing interest in my musical pursuit. Mr. Thompson, inspired by my late-life adventure, decided to take up watercolor painting. The peaceful moments at the piano became a form of mindfulness practice. Each note required such profound concentration that the weight of living alone temporarily lifted from my shoulders. My children noticed the change in me. Sarah mentioned how my voice carried a new lightness during our daily calls, while Tommy admitted he worried less about me being by myself. The money I'd spent on the piano and lessons proved to be an investment in my well-being. My growing self-awareness helped me recognize that resilience could come in unexpected forms. The creativity I discovered in myself would have made Clara proud. She always said everyone had an artist hiding inside them. Mrs. Chen's teaching style went beyond music. Her insights about patience and practice applied to every aspect of my journey through widowhood. In music, as in life, she would say, the spaces between the notes are as important as the notes themselves. This understanding helped me appreciate the quiet moments of reflection that punctuated my days. The first time I played a complete piece without mistakes. A simple version of Moon River, Clara's favorite. I felt tears rolling down my cheeks. The connection to her felt stronger than ever. Not through grief this time, but through the joy of creation. My fellow piano students, despite the age gap, began treating me as one of their own. Little Emma, all of 8 years old, would high-five me when our lessons crossed paths. The qualities I developed through music began seeping into other areas of my life. The strength required to master difficult passages translated into courage to try other new things. I joined a book club, started attending community concerts, and even hosted small gatherings where I would attempt to play for others. Through these experiences, I discovered that meaningful relationships could exist alongside my cherished memories of Clara. The boundaries between my past and present became less rigid, allowing me to honor both my solitude and my need for human connection. My empathy for others facing similar life transitions deepened, informed by my own journey of transformation as I approached my first public recital, a small affair arranged by Mrs. Chen for her adult students. I find myself reflecting on how far I've come. The introspection forced upon me by loss has led to unexpected blessings. At 75, I'm not just surviving without Clara, I'm discovering new dimensions of myself that both surprise and inspire me. Never in my 75 years did I imagine a dog would teach me about living again. The decision to visit the animal shelter came after my first piano recital, where Mrs. Chen had wisely observed that my house might benefit from more than just musical notes filling its rooms. The profound silence between practice sessions had started feeling heavier, even as my independence grew stronger. I remember that rainy Tuesday morning when I first met Buddy. While other dogs barked enthusiastically, he sat quietly in his kennel, his golden fur showing touches of gray around his muzzle. A senior citizen himself at 8 years old, the shelter volunteer mentioned how older adults often overlooked senior dogs, preferring puppies, but the wisdom in Buddy's gentle brown eyes spoke directly to my soul, reminding me of the understanding Clara always showed toward life's overlooked treasures. The richness of having a companion again transformed my daily routines in unexpected ways. Buddy, true to his breed's reputation, carried himself with a dignified grace that matched my own pace. Our morning walks became a meditation in mindfulness, each step a shared journey of rediscovery. The money spent on dog supplies and vet checks felt insignificant compared to the emotional wealth his presence brought to my life. Living alone had taught me self-reliance. But Buddy's arrival added new dimensions to my independence. He needed me, yes, but not in the overwhelming way that sometimes characterized human relationships. His quiet contentment as I practiced piano made the music feel richer, more meaningful. Sometimes, during particularly emotional pieces, he would rest his head on my knee, offering comfort without words. The solitude I had grown accustomed to gradually transformed into peaceful coexistence. Buddy's presence brought a different kind of connection to my days, one that honored both my need for quiet reflection and my desire for companionship. My creativity at the piano flourished, inspired by our daily adventures and the pure joy I witnessed in his simple pleasures. Our evening walks became opportunities for unexpected community building. Other older adults in the neighborhood, who had previously only offered polite nods, stopped to chat about dogs and life. Mrs. Thompson, who had lost both her husband and her beloved poodle last year, would often join us, finding solace in Buddy's gentle nature. The empathy that flowed between us dog owners created bonds that transcended age and circumstance. My children noticed the change in me during their visits. Sarah remarked how my laughter came more easily now, especially when Buddy performed his endearing ritual of bringing me his favorite toy. Whenever I sat at the piano, Tommy, initially skeptical about a senior caring for a senior dog, admitted that the qualities of companionship Buddy brought to my life were invaluable. The introspection that had characterized my early years of widowhood evolved into something more outward-looking. Through Buddy's eyes, I discovered new appreciation for the world around us. The way morning dew sparkled on grass blades, the exciting possibilities each walk held, the profound joy in sharing simple moments with another living being. As weeks turned into months, Buddy and I developed our own language of understanding. He seemed to sense my emotional weather, offering silent support on days when memories of Clara felt particularly heavy, and playful enthusiasm when my spirits lifted. His resilience in adapting to a new home at his age inspired me to push my own boundaries further. During our neighborhood walks, we became known as the inseparable duo. The local children would ask permission to pet him, leading to conversations with their parents about the wisdom of adopting senior pets. My experience with Buddy became a testament to how meaningful connections could form at any age, challenging stereotypes about older adults and their capacity for new bonds. The strength I found in caring for another being surprised me. Each morning, regardless of weather or mood, Buddy's needs gave structure to my days. His presence during my piano practice sessions added an unexpected dimension to my music. My rendition of Moon River now carried notes of joy alongside its nostalgic melody. Our peaceful coexistence brought insights I never expected at this stage of life. The fear of living alone that had once gripped me slowly dissolved into a gentle appreciation for the different forms love could take. Clara would have loved Buddy, his gentle soul, his patient nature, his ability to bring out the best in people. Sometimes when he rests beside my piano bench, I imagine her smiling at the unlikely pair we make. At 76, I've discovered that creativity flows most freely in the gentle hours between dawn and sunrise. My morning ritual begins when Buddy nudges my hand, his clockwork precision rivaling any alarm. After our walk, I settle at the piano, my fingers finding their home among the keys while the rest of the world slowly awakens. Mrs. Chen noticed my evolution as a musician during our weekly lessons. "Your touch has changed," she observed one day, her eyes twinkling with wisdom. "You're not just playing notes anymore. You're telling stories." She was right. Each piece had become a chapter in my ongoing dialogue with life, with loss, with love. The richness of emotion I once feared would overwhelm me now flowed through my music, finding its voice in melodies both melancholic and hopeful. The profound change in my playing came when I started composing my own simple pieces. My first composition, Clara's Garden, emerged during one of those quiet morning sessions. The melody arrived like a whispered memory, capturing the way sunlight used to dance across Clara's roses. The creative process taught me that loneliness could transform into something beautiful when channeled through art. Living alone had its challenges, but I'd learned to protect the peaceful solitude I needed for my music. Setting boundaries became easier with practice. When well-meaning neighbors suggested I join every social activity available to older adults, I learned to decline gracefully, preserving time for my artistic exploration. My journey with music revealed unexpected qualities in my character. The patience required to master difficult passages translated into greater self-awareness in other areas of my life. I discovered that my emotional resilience grew stronger with each new piece I learned, each hurdle I overcame. The mindfulness I practiced at the piano began influencing my daily interactions. During my morning coffee with Buddy by my side, I found myself appreciating the intricate patterns of sunrise through my kitchen window, moments of quiet contemplation that Clara would have loved. These periods of reflection helped me understand when I needed solitude and when I craved connection. My children noticed this transformation during their visits. Sarah once found me completely absorbed in practicing a particularly challenging passage, Buddy dozing beneath the piano. "Dad," she said, tears glistening in her eyes, "I've never seen you so at peace." Her words captured the profound contentment I'd found in this new chapter of my life. The wisdom gained through my musical journey extended beyond the keyboard. I began hosting small gatherings where music became a bridge between generations. Young piano students from Mrs. Chen's studio would visit, eager to share their progress and hear stories about my late-blooming musical career. Their fresh perspectives added inspiring notes to my own practice. Understanding the importance of boundaries helped me create meaningful connections without compromising my need for independence. I learned to balance social engagements with solitary practice sessions, each enriching the other. The money I'd invested in my musical education continued to yield returns in unexpected ways, not just in improved technique, but in deeper self-knowledge. My weekly performances at the community center became exercises in vulnerability and strength. Other older adults who had initially attended out of politeness now came eagerly, finding their own moments of reflection in the music I shared. Mr. Thompson, inspired by my journey, even started taking guitar lessons. The introspection that accompanied my practice sessions revealed new insights about grief and healing. Through music, I found ways to honor both my solitude and my memories of Clara. Each piece I mastered felt like a conversation with her, not clouded by loneliness anymore. but illuminated by appreciation for the life we shared and the person I was becoming during one particularly moving practice session as I played through Clara's Garden with Buddy providing his usual attentive audience. I realized something profound. The creative spirit knows no age limit. The richness of life continues to unfold when we remain open to its possibilities. Whether we're 16 or 76, my journey through music had taught me that wisdom comes not just from living, but from daring to express what life has taught us. Today, as I celebrate my 78th birthday, I find myself sitting at my piano, Buddy's gray muzzle resting against my foot. While I ponder the extraordinary journey of these past 10 years, the morning sun streams through Clara's stained glass window, casting rainbow patterns across my music sheets. A reminder that beauty can emerge from the most unexpected sources. My students, yes, I now teach beginner piano to other older adults, often ask how I managed to transform my loneliness into such profound contentment. The answer lies not in any single moment of revelation, but in the countless small decisions to embrace life's continuing richness. The wisdom that emerged from my solitude taught me that every ending carries within it the seeds of a new beginning. The money I once saved for travels with Clara now funds music scholarships for senior beginners at Mrs. Chen's studio. She's semi-retired now, but still teaches our special group of late-blooming musicians. The creative spirit that awakened in me during those early piano lessons has blossomed into something I never expected. A small community of older adults discovering their artistic voices for the first time. Living alone no longer carries the weight of loneliness it once did. My independence has become a source of strength rather than sorrow. Each morning, as Buddy and I walk through Clara's garden, I feel a profound appreciation for the life I've built. The roses still bloom under my care, though I've added my own touches. A water feature whose gentle music provides background melody to the birds' morning songs. The emotional resilience I developed through those years of grief and growth now allows me to support others facing similar journeys. My home has become a gathering place for a small group of widowed neighbors who share music, memories, and the quiet understanding that comes from shared experience. The boundaries I've learned to set ensure these connections remain meaningful without becoming overwhelming. Through mindfulness and self-awareness, I've discovered that being alone and being lonely are entirely different states of being. My solitude has become a canvas for self-expression, whether through music, writing, or simply being present in each moment. The insights gained from this journey have taught me that contentment comes not from filling every moment with activity, but from finding peace in whatever each day brings. The qualities I've developed over these years continue to surprise me. My empathy for others has deepened. Informed by my own experience of loss and renewal, the weekly piano recitals I host for fellow senior students have become moments of shared joy, where mistakes are met with understanding smiles and successful performances with genuine celebration. Sarah and Tommy visit more often now, bringing their children who delight in hearing their grandfather play and watching Buddy perform his repertoire of gentle tricks. The peaceful atmosphere of my home seems to affect everyone who enters, a testament to the healing power of music and the inspiring potential for growth at any age. My reflection in the mirror shows a different man than the one who lost Clara a decade ago. The grief hasn't disappeared. It's been transformed into something meaningful and rich. In teaching others, sharing my story and continuing to learn and grow, I've found a purpose I never expected. The introspection that once felt like a burden has become a gift I can share with others. Looking back, I realize that embracing solitude while maintaining meaningful connections has given me a unique perspective on life's continuing evolution. The wisdom gained through this journey isn't just about surviving loss. It's about discovering the countless ways life continues to offer opportunities for growth, creativity, and profound connection. If this story touched your heart, please like, subscribe, and share. Every support helps our channel grow. Thank you for being part of Carl's journey.